Denmark get a point against France in the last group game. Then the Danes join France in the last 16. And Denmark-France next Tuesday, live with us here on ITV from the Luzhniki in Moscow. So I just want to ask Patrice about the way you started the Euros and obviously draw a comparison with a slow start here. In the Euros, you needed a very late goal to beat Romania in the first game, 2 very late goals to beat Albania, and then drew with the Swiss in the last game. You reached the final. By the semi-finals, you were beating Germany. So my question is, how much does it matter that France is starting quite slowly here, bearing in mind they've won the first 2 games?
But I really think, like, I will let people debate about the performance. I'm definitely convinced the press, French press, will say it's 2 poor performance. But at the end, it's 6 points. We're getting through the last 16. So I'm really pleased with that. And I know it's really difficult. You know, people think because France have the best player, we have to play a football champagne, like I said before, winning 3-0. But I'm really happy with the result. And 6 points.
OK, outline your frustration, because I know you are a bit frustrated.
No, I agree with Patrice there. Of course, if you're the manager, the players, you're delighted. You're through and obviously hoping no injuries. But when you've got that amount of quality in your team, you've got to show it. Forget about champagne football. Play some decent football. Play on the front foot, sidewards, backwards, time wasting. Come on, I was disappointed with both teams, particularly the second half. France for not showing enough quality in the second half. And Peru, I don't think the Peru players realised they were losing because they never even went for it in the last 10 or 15 minutes. So the quality on show in the second half today was, I thought, shocking. And the French players' decision-making in possession, shocking.
Well, that was a surprise, wasn't it, from the French point of view? Because after the goal in the first half, which was in the 34th minute, they played really well for the last 10 minutes of the first half. We thought, right, there's the standard, you'll play up to it, or you should do in the second half. But they seem to go the other way and just be very flat and very lethargic.
Yeah.
How do we explain that?
Yeah, you can understand it, because if they win, you know, if they hold on, then they're through.
What are they doing, conserving energy? Is that what it's about?
I don't know. I think once you get into that rhythm of defending, it's very hard to sort of change it. But me as a forward player, you're going 1-0 at half-time, you're thinking, right, this is our chance, because Peru, they didn't really come out, but you're going to get chances in the second half. But the quality wasn't there, off both teams, to be fair. Peru didn't really go for it, and France, when they were on the ball, they didn't really do a lot with it. So it was disappointing in the second half.
Mbappe with the goal then, so the youngest ever goal scorer for France in the World Cup at 19.5. So that's a weight off his shoulders, he's got his goal. And the fact that it works so well, didn't it? That little triangle, Giroud, Mbappe, Griezmann, that clearly looks like it's probably the way ahead.
No, I really think when Mbappe play wide, is better than when he plays central. So that's why I'm like, Giroud have to play central and Mbappe wide. But I'm just like curious if Mbappe is not being influenced by Neymar, because he's playing at Paris Saint-Germain. And I just feel like sometimes he's playing a little bit flashy. And when he was playing for Monaco, he was more direct. So my advice will be to just keep simple, because he's such a great player. And I just had that feeling in few part of the game.
The plus for France, we're talking about these players, the lack of experience, but they'll only get the experience by playing in these games. So that's a plus for these players. It's another game, it's another victory, another experience of the World Cup. And they will improve as the competition goes on, but as I said, you just expect a bit more from them.
We saw what they could do, as we've mentioned several times, with Giroud as the focal point and with Griezmann running off from Mbappe and Pogba breaking from midfield. When they wanted to run, they did show us what they were capable of.
Yeah, like I said at half-time, he does give you that option to go a little bit more direct. And then it's about picking up the pieces, timing of the run of Griezmann and Mbappe, because you know more often than not Giroud is going to hold it up, or he's going to just flick it for the likes of Griezmann or Mbappe. So, yeah, I mean, it's about getting the balance right. You know, we talked about how many good players they have got, but that's no good unless the balance of the team is right. And it looked a little bit better today with Giroud, especially first half.
Well, we've seen a couple of flicks from Mbappe there. Is that what you think? He's even subconsciously trying to copy Neymar.
It's not about copy Neymar, it's maybe because, you know, playing with him, try to doing some skill. And I know Mbappe is not someone who's going to get a big head, but you have to be careful about this little flick, and I know Didier Deschamps doesn't like that kind of stuff.
That little thing we saw there?
Definitely. Maybe even when he's efficient, even when he beat the man, I know Deschamps with his, he won't like.
Do you know what I liked about Mbappe when I first seen him running in behind?
You know what I mean?
He didn't do it in this game. He didn't run in behind, and that stretch, that then gives the time for Griezmann, Giroud. he's not doing enough of running behind without the ball. He wants the
Because
ball.
he's probably
to
the
feet.
quickest man of the World Cup,
He's
isn't
not
he?
catching him, but sometimes you're not going to get the ball, but it stretches. It then stretches the opposition.
But that's exactly what Giggs is saying. Sometimes, you know, before he was always running behind. And now you can see he won the ball on his feet, doing some little trick. So
be a bit more selfless, if you like, because that's what you do. If you don't get the ball, you're going to stretch a team.
No, exactly.
Yeah, but most players are selfish. We've seen that in a lot of the French players today. You know, you have to remind players that it is a team game.
What about from the Peruvian point of view? I mean, Sam said it in commentary, there are so many what-ifs. There are probably not enough what-ifs for you, but obviously Cueva missing the penalty in the first game, and then Guerrero at 0-0 just before the Mbappe goal.
Yeah, these are big moments for Peru, and they'll reflect that that's what's cost them in the first game, the miss. And this was their chance. We said at the time, this is probably the best chance they get. And
it's a great touch, isn't it?
It's a lovely touch, and he's hit the target, and you're thinking, can you go across the goalkeeper? But I wouldn't want to be too critical of him, but when you get these half chances, you've got to take them. But after that, and what the word we keep going back to is lack of quality, decision-making, end product. And in a sense, I'm kind of glad they got knocked out, because I was getting really frustrated with my thought, come on, you need to do better. And if you're going to lose, having a go off it, they never went for it.
And that's a surprise, isn't it? 10, 15 minutes to go. We all admire the way that they were playing in the build-up, but if you have to change your tactics, I don't know, go long, put two on up front, whatever it is, it's either that, give that a go, or you're going to go home if you carry on playing that way.
When are you not going to gamble with 20 minutes to go and you're losing? If you lose, you go out the World Cup. If there's any time to gamble, it's going to be then, to stay in the tournament. But we didn't see it. I mean, whether they were tired or not, they looked like they tired. They put a lot of work in, obviously, in the first half. But, yeah, they didn't show enough endeavour in the second half, and there was hardly any chances.
OK, we are 7 days into the World Cup now, and Richard Henwood has been picking through some of the bits. You may